Hey guys, welcome back to the table and welcome back to 1776 or Bust. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and please share these videos with all of your friends so that the channel can keep on growing. Now on the table, what you're going to see are two amazing guns that I absolutely love. There's a lot of fans with the Px4 Storm Compact Carry, and there's a lot of fans with the 92X Compacts. Now both guns are kind of interesting because they're very, very similar in size, albeit there are some differences, and more importantly, both are excellent shooters. The Px4 Storm Compact Carry, price-wise, absolutely destroys the price when it comes to these two guns. Much more expensive. You're finding them retailing for around $900. These you can find around $600 now that they have the RDO models out. But I actually got this for about $400, but I bought it used several months ago, and I got a killer deal on it. Now, both guns, I'll tell you right now, super easy to work on. So if you do wind up getting a regular Px4, you can absolutely upgrade it, get some Langdon tactical parts, and make it a nice shooting firearm, even though out of the box they already are. The 92X Compact, you can do the same thing. So both of these firearms are super easy to work on. I enjoy working on the Berettas because it does make it a much more enjoyable shooting experience, at least in my opinion. And overall, it is a very solid firearm. Now, to go over some of the basics of both these firearms, the Px4 Storm Compact Carry that you see right here, it's 6.8 inches long, it's 5 inches high, and 1.42 inches wide. So it's not exactly the narrowest gun, but it's not a super thick gun either. The 92X Compact is 7.75 inches long due to the fact that you have the longer slide. It's 5.25 inches in height, so just a 1/4 inch difference between the two. And it's 1.5 inches wide, so really you're talking about 1/8 of an inch. So it's not that big of a deal when it comes to width. Interestingly enough, this magazine is a little bit narrower, if I said that right, and this one's wider compared to the two. So you do have a capacity difference. This one has 13 rounds. This one has 15 rounds. You can definitely add, I believe, a 15-round magazine to these, but out of the box, 13 and 15, which is interesting because even though this is narrower, the actual magazine is wider than this one. So I don't know what that's about, but you know, maybe in the future, Beretta will change something up on these guns. Could be the angle of the grip, but who knows? Now, regarding some of the other factors involved in this, when we talk about, you know, basic size of, you know, slide-wise and all that other stuff, you guys can definitely tell just by looking at the two guns. You obviously have a longer slide when it comes to, you know, the Compact Carry. So the Compact Carry has about a 4.25 inch slide. So you got that length there versus the 3.27 inches on the Px4. So what you're going to have to understand is you're going to have a little bit of a difference. I know some people make it a big deal that the length of the slide means faster projectiles, more accuracy, and that might be true. But to be honest with you, for a compact gun for both of these, you know, to me, the shooting experience is rather good for both. Accuracy is pretty good for both, and it definitely outshoots me. Looking at both guns, and if we take a look at the Px4 Compact Carry, you guys can see it is a fairly easy gun to conceal based on its size. The grip is not too long, so I have all 3 fingers on there, and it really goes right to the bottom of where that magazine is, as you guys can see right there. Now, in regards to the 92X Compact, you can get a flat base plate here, so you could see that this one has the extended pinky. If I had the flat one, it wouldn't necessarily do anything in regards to making it a better or worse shooting scenario for my hand, because my pinky fits right on the bottom of that grip. Safeties, this one has the decocking lever, which is standard for the Compact Carry. This one is just the safety, so if you want to take it off safe, you have to manually do that. Interestingly enough, both triggers are pretty good. I mean, this one obviously has some work done, so the magic that Langdon does makes this amazing double action pull, so you guys can see. By the way, all guns are clear before we make any videos. But one of the things I would say is this trigger on this gun is very, very smooth, okay? So you have a very smooth double action take up, and it breaks really nicely. And then the reset is just, it's so damn short, it's ridiculous. So it makes secondary shots super awesome. So the trigger on this is very good. Now the standard trigger on the 92X Compact is also pretty good. I'm going to tell you right now, I did some work on this, different hammer springs, got some Langdon parts in there. So it actually has improved the double action considerably. The trigger bar makes it a very smooth double action, as you can see right here, although my hands are shaking, which you all know. And it does drop back at a very nice, comfortable feel in the finger. Here's your reset. So again, this reset on this one, after the work that I did on it, The 92X Compact actually has a little bit shorter of a reset than the Px4 Compact Carry. But again, that's not something you're going to necessarily experience when you buy this out of the box. That's something you're going to have to buy additionally to make it a better gun, if that's what you choose to do. Now, if you look at the width of the guns, and this is what I was mentioning earlier, they are extremely close to one another. You can see that the width is actually almost identical. And what makes the width of this look a little wider is due to the grips. So if you take the grips off, then obviously you lose this amount of space or this amount of size. So as a result, guys, you're not necessarily going to see that major difference. And a lot of times when you take the two, if you're going to take the widest points, you're going to look at the controls on both of these guns. And what you're going to find is that really the safety lever, at least on this one, extends out a little bit wider than this one. This one has the more low profile safety levers, whereas this one has the standard. So that's the big difference between the two. I mean, overall, do I think you can go wrong with either one of these? Absolutely not. The comfort of shooting on both is kind of a different experience in both of these guns. With the Px4, and I'll drop the magazine out, what you're going to notice here, guys, if you can see that, is that you have that rotating barrel. Now, that rotating barrel allegedly allows for lighter recoil and slightly more accuracy. Now, again, do I know I can prove that for sure? No, not really. I mean, I don't think that this gun shoots any softer than really any other gun I've shot. But for a small gun, I would say it's fairly light recoiling, even though it's just a 9mm. Having that additional ability for those rounds to come out in a non-tilting barrel and a rotating barrel, I think do make it a little bit more regarding the comfort of recoil. Now, is that true? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Now, of course, when we talk about the 92s, you're going to notice that you have that open slide, so that reduces some of the weight on that slide. And what you're also going to notice, as that gun comes back, that barrel is not rotating up, or I should say tilting up. So there is not that standard Browning action. Instead, what you're getting is you're getting basically a drop locking block. So as the slide moves back, the barrel will move back slightly, and then the locking block drops down, and it stops the barrel from going all the way back. So that's kind of an interesting system, and it's been around forever with these 92s. And again, what does that do? Well, it's reducing that muzzle flip, because instead of that barrel tilting up, which then causes the gun to maybe break a little higher, what you're going to find is because this is sliding backwards, all of that movement goes front to back, not up to down. So do I think that's an advantage of shooting? Yeah, I do. I do think it makes a difference. And I have to say, these 92s are a very pleasant gun to shoot. The action of the gun is so different, in my opinion, than those tilting barrels models that most of us have, that the gun actually, it's kind of an interesting feel because it's such a smooth feel that sometimes when I've shot these in the past, it's hard to tell if I had my eyes closed if the gun actually did anything. That's how smooth these feel, at least in my opinion. Now, overall, which one would I actually want to carry? I mean, both have advantages. The advantage, obviously, to a metal gun is the fact that you're looking at a gun that's going to weigh a little bit more in the weight. So obviously, you'll get a little more controllability in the controllability factor. However, with that weight could come a little discomfort due to the fact that you got to carry a little more weight on your hip. Now, the Px4 Storm, because it is a polymer gun, you're going to reduce some of that weight, but you're also going to potentially reduce some of the controllability because of it. So is there a perfect choice? Well, guys, no, there's not. The choice is going to be made by you, the person who's going to be carrying the gun. I think both have advantages and maybe some slight disadvantages, but overall, both guns are fantastic, and I love both of these. I find these models very enjoyable to shoot. I love carrying the compact carry. This has actually become one of my favorite carry guns due to the fact that it's super easy to conceal. It's got a lot of rounded edges to it. And I just like the fact that I know it's going to be super reliable. And I also know the fact that it's easy to shoot trigger-wise. The X Compact, honestly, I don't have much experience carrying it because of the fact that it is a little bit heavier. I haven't really thought about carrying it. Would that, kind of make me ever not want to carry it? Definitely not. I just don't even have a holster for it. So overall, if I take a look at the magazines, you can see here you've got your traditional 92 mags. These are your Px4 mags. And you can see just from the front, there is a slight difference between the two. The Px4 magazine is slightly thicker, while as the 92X Compact is a little bit slimmer. And I thought that was kind of interesting due to the fact that you have a little bit of a wider grip on the 92 and a little bit of a narrower grip on the Px4, even though when you put them in your hands, the Px4 feels about the same width as the 92X. So overall, sight picture seems to be good on both. Triggers are excellent on both. All of the controls are super easy to use and manipulate, so there's not really a concern when it comes to that. The only thing I can say to you is that if you haven't had an experience shooting a 92, I would definitely recommend doing so that you could see how this feels. I know that a lot of people out there who have tried the Px4 have been extremely pleased with it, knowing the fact that it just shoots really lightly and it is a very accurate gun. One of these days, I hope to get a full size just to see what I think of it, because I already have the Centurion model and the 92s. So tell me what you think below. Leave some comments down there, guys. Let me know which one would you prefer. Do you have experience with both, or are you just not a Beretta fan? So again, I'd love the comments. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and freedom is never free.